What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. And today we have a potential massive update on Eze's future. If this report is true, we could potentially be certain maybe of 60 to 70% or maybe 80% that Eze could be staying. Eze's release clause, as you can see from the title, does it expire tomorrow, as well as a rejection. It seems like a potential rejection for a defender, a top defender from Inter Milan, and more. As always, make sure to get involved. Leave down your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as the live comment section, and drop a like. That's all I ask for, nothing more. If you can like the video as you come in, or even if you're watching replay, that would be much appreciated. As I've been on top of it and keeping up, I know it must sound annoying, me keep saying it, but it's helped us. It's helped us 100%. We've hit over 200 likes on a few Palace News episodes. So as long as we can keep that up, that would be massive. Joined by T here. T, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just been busy. But I'll be honest, we just had to jump on today about this because it just came out of nowhere. It's a bit of a shock to me, to be fair, because I didn't really expect it. But let's not even waste any time. Let's jump straight into the news, and that is the Eze release clause news. As you can see, as I mentioned, it has been reported by Sami Mokbel, the senior correspondent for BBC Sport, that Eze's release clause is due to expire 14 days before the season starts. So essentially tomorrow. That is massive if true. According to Sami Mokbel, Eze's release clause is due to expire 14 days before the season starts, which makes it tomorrow, according to him. I'll give my opinion on it. I'm a bit shocked because I thought it was 14 days before the window shuts, and we saw it last year as well, where we got the news from Bobby Manzi, I believe it was Bobby that actually reported it, that his release clause expired around the 13th or 14th of August. So for me, T, it's a bit confusing why the terms would change this year around. You would expect the terms to be the same throughout. But what's your thoughts on it? Sami Mokbel is not a bad journalist. I mean, he's a senior correspondent, football correspondent for the BBC. He's got very good sources between Arsenal and Palace. But the timing of it is very confusing because why would the date change from last year to this year? You'd think the date would be consistent throughout his contract. But what's your stance on it?
Well, it is interesting because number one, I think it starts with the fact, like you said, Sammy is a pretty reputable journalist, especially when it comes to Palace. And you know, as we've talked about in our group chat, this is, you know, you're kind of stepping out on a limb with this to report this, you know, and it's been reported, and there's been no retraction. There's been no editing, no corrections. So as it stands, what he said is what he meant, and that's what he said. You know what I mean? So he's standing on his views and the journalistic integrity that comes with it. So definitely surprising, definitely a bit out of left field. It makes me wonder if these dates that we're talking about are something that is negotiated every year. Maybe
I don't
maybe
think
something
so.
that's
Well, you
not
don't think so,
consistent.
right? I mean,
No,
surely
I
if
don't
it's in
know.
his contract, you wouldn't think 1 year it would be 2 weeks before the window ends, then another year it would be 2 weeks before the season starts. That's the only thing that doesn't really make sense to me. But it's also not coming from a journal or source that is rubbish. He's meant to be
Right.
a decent source, which makes it more confusing. And also, by him going out there, he's putting a lot on the line because if this is not true, it's not going to look good for him. It is
Yeah.
not going to look good for him. So it's just a bit confusing. I don't think he just made this up. Someone must have told him this. I don't know who it was. It could easily, because based on what I've seen from him, he's got good sources between Arsenal and he's got good sources at Palace as well. He's a senior football correspondent for the BBC. Of course, he's gonna have good sources. I don't know who said that, but I'm assuming the person that would tell him that news, then he should have good information. It should be someone close to either Palace's camp or Eze's camp. And why would they lie about that? So I'm 50-50 right now. I'm 50-50 right now. If it does end tomorrow, We can talk about what it means for the future of Ebbs and whether we can still see him leaving this window. But right now, it's just a bit confusing. And you know what makes it a bit more like what's going on is the fact that we haven't heard of any other person confirm this. It's only been Sammy Mockbell that said that his release clause expires tomorrow. We haven't had no Bobby Manzi or anyone else within Palace's camp to say, you know what, it actually expires tomorrow.
Yes, interesting. Nobody's refuted it yet.
That's the weird
one of those
thing.
things that people have heard about what he said. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that no one has come out and refuted what he said. Now I don't know how typical that would be or how popular that would be for another journalist or an in the know to come out and correct what he said. If it
because that would be big. I guess so. Like imagine another journalist telling you that you're wrong and you're both journalists. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like
it would be another big claim to make to say that it's wrong.
Exactly. It's one thing to get it wrong. It's another thing to get it wrong and have another journalist call you out on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would be the double down. So at least in his case, we haven't seen that to this point. But similar to what Eagle Eye's bringing up here is probably Rich. But what Rich is bringing up here is that he missed on the whole Gahey thing too.
Yeah. That was a bit confusing. Saying about Liverpool, saying he's not featuring, but he did actually feature in that game. But he didn't say he's leaving for Liverpool. He just said
he didn't say he was leaving, but he just wasn't in the first lineup of players that was released. But it makes me wonder if this is indeed true too. How does this affect how much we trust and respect him in terms of Palace moving forward?
Yeah, let us know in the chat what you lot think as well. Do you think that his release clause actually expires tomorrow? Or do you think it would expire 2 weeks before the window shuts like last year? Which I think last year Bobby reported around the 13th or 14th of August. And that was
the 30th, August 30th was when the window closed.
Yeah, so around that period makes sense.
So it would have been like the 16th, August 16th or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just it's the fact that it's a valued journalist that's reporting this. That's the only thing that's making me think.
Exactly.
What if?
That's what makes you raise your eyebrow a little bit.
But realistically, I don't see it expiring tomorrow because to me it makes no sense for it to change every single year. The terms of the release clause. I think it would be consistent throughout his contract about when it would expire. And that's what I'm thinking as well, Kyle. That's what I'm thinking as well. He's saying it seems strange that it would change from year to year. Hoping Sammy's right.
I mean, even if it was date based, it would be closer to what we saw last year.
Yeah, that's like a whole month before now the window shuts. So yeah, Luke saying it's all nonsense. If they were keen, it should have been sorted. Last year's date undermines the story. I agree as well. Maybe it's a request from Glasner. Maybe he wants to know the team that starts the season will be his players. I don't think Glasner has an influence on a legal obligation about when his release clause expires. I don't think Glasner could change that halfway through and say, I don't want him to leave. If he's going to leave, let him leave by tomorrow. I don't think he can change that. I think that's just.
I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, I don't think that would be a thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's see. But if it was to expire tomorrow, do you think that's it? Do you think Eze doesn't leave?
I would say he probably doesn't leave just because I think with the release clause, in our opinion, is kind of a restraint. So if the restraints are taken off and we can name our own price at that point, I think yesterday's price isn't today's price and it goes up. So I think we're then looking at probably what we want to be 70 or 80 million, and nobody's going to come in and pay that. I mean, shoot, Arsenal doesn't want to pay the 60 some odd million right now, because of the reported 35 million that they have to pay up front. So I don't know, man. I mean, chances are, in my opinion, if it was to be removed, according to his report, I couldn't see Ebbs moving.
Yeah, if it does expire tomorrow, I don't see him leaving because I think Palace demand more money, and we should. If you look at the market right now, and certain players going for around £50 million, aka Madueke, then how is Eze only worth like 80 more million pounds than him? Like,
Yeah, I
no.
mean, you got
I think
somebody like
Eze's. I think we would still put a price tag on there because as has been mentioned a few times, Eze's not desperate to leave, but he's open for a move. So I think out of respect for him, we'll still put a price tag to see if the club matches it. But I think realistically in this market, you want to charge around 80 to 90 million pounds if his release clause expires. And I think if we were to get that money for Eze, then that would be very good business. As much as Glazer would rather keep the players, I think you can do a lot with that money, plus money that you should already have to spend on top of that. But I don't see Arsenal paying that. Do you see Arsenal paying the release clause even if it expired in, let's say, 2 weeks' time? I don't know. I just feel like they've been dragging it out, team, man.
But
I
I'd
feel
say,
like
yeah,
if you
if they
really want
if
to play
it,
her, go on.
I was gonna say, even if they do have, like, even if it doesn't expire tomorrow, they have 2 weeks to get it done, and they've done a lot of slow paced work. You know what I mean? Sheesh, the Jokeresh move took forever. It took months. You know what I mean? So like, it would be, I would be hard pressed to see them make that move within those 2 weeks. Not to mention the fact that, you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe for us, I mean, a release clause is a release clause. If they activate it, we can't do anything. But I would hate to see us have to deal with that mid-August in trying to replace him with only another 2 weeks left
Weeks to go.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
window, with the season kicking off, and whoever that person that needs to come in hasn't had any preseason, hasn't with us, and it's going to take time to get up to speed. You know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people would want us to go out and find his replacement before he leaves, so that person can already be embedded in the club and, you know, be going with things. But hopefully Arsenal don't try to just screw us by waiting until the 11th hour, activating the clause, and then we're looking at August 14th, 15th, 16th, starting the season, and then trying to replace Ebbs.
Yeah. Does my mic sound a bit better now? I think my mic, I was using a different audio.
I was hearing you fine the whole time.
Okay,
So
I
I
didn't
don't know if
realize.
maybe
I think it should sound better now because my mic, it
my
has
miss
plugged
his
in, but
mic is potato.
yeah, it sounds like potato. I went as soon as you said that, as soon as I saw that comment, I went on my mic settings and I realized that it's using my camera mic rather than my actual mic itself. So hopefully it sounds a bit better now. But yeah, that would be the worst case scenario if he was to leave like in the last hour or so before his release clause expires, even if it is in about 2 weeks' time. Even in Gaika, January window is primed. Arsenal have just messed about with Eze's head, just kicking the tires. Look, for me, I feel like if they were serious, they would have got Eze already. I don't think it's complicated. I think the terms have been set out, so there isn't any real negotiations that need to be held. I think Palace don't want to budge. Palace don't want to use Eze, so why would we negotiate with Arsenal? And I mean, why would you want to negotiate anyways
I don't
with
know.
Arsenal? You've seen it with
I've
Will.
always,
They just take forever. They can't
yeah,
make.
exactly.
They're not a serious football club when it comes to making decisions at times.
And I'm also very confused by the Arsenal Ebbs link to begin with, because there's not a positional fit for him.
They want to play left wing.
Yeah, like they play out and out wingers, along with three central midfielders, one of which is not a 10. They play a more traditional 4-3-3 setup. I know sometimes Odegaard gets more advanced with his play, but they don't have like a 10 role player. So I don't see the fit with Ebbs. Ebbs is not a touchline player. He's not a speed guy. You know what I mean? He's not really a track back defender either, if I'm being
he
completely
fits better
honest.
where Odegaard plays, but he's not going to.
Yeah, but at that point, why am I going to make a move to Arsenal to play bit part behind Odegaard? Yes, I'll probably get a little bit of a pay bump, even though I'm already getting paid a really good amount where I am. And yes, I'll play Champions League football, but I'll start almost every match with Palace, and I'm going to get European football
before the World Cup year. I think this is a very
before the
important
World Cup year,
and Gavey,
when
and I think that's why
another huge piece to it.
Yeah, and I think that's why Simon Mockbell in his most recent report said that they're not desperate to leave, and you can get that vibe anyways. I think if Gay was desperate to leave, then Gay would have left by now. Same with Eze. It seems like they're happy at Palace. I think they're open to a move. That's the feeling I'm getting between both Gay and Eze. You know, I could stay at Palace for another year, but if Arsenal or Liverpool or any other club really came seriously knocking them, I don't mind leaving as well. And I'm fine with that. There's no problem with that because, you know, it'd be a different environment, playing with different players as well. So yeah, I think that is key. And I've seen this as well by Colin saying that they need to sell before they can actually bid. So yeah, one of those players, Trossard, they played today. I think he got injured. One of the players they mentioned.
Did Trossard get injured? Oh man,
he did, but I don't know how serious it was. He got subbed off.
Yeah.
He got subbed off. But even then, they have to sell. They have to sort everything out within 2 weeks' time. Well, if it doesn't expire tomorrow, by the way, we're just saying
once again, like
tomorrow.
To have 2 weeks and need to not only sell a player and get rid of a guy, but then negotiate with another player and bring him in. I mean, that's and with the way that they move, that's not a easy thing at all.
Yeah. It's a load of media stupidity. Players have made their presence winning the FA Cup. Great coverage all around up the Palace. Appreciate that from Luke. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow, I guess someone will be jumping in on this from Palace's side of things. I don't think any of Bobby and anyone else hasn't jumped in yet because I think they want to confirm within someone from the football club because, as you said, as we've said, I mean, if one other journalist jumps in and says that's not true, then it's not going to look good for Sammy Mockbell. I mean, if it's not true, it's still not going to look good for him as well. And I don't know why it would be true. I don't know why the dates would change from last year to this
that's
year.
An interesting thing.
Feel like Arsenal don't transfers as serious as other big money teams. Yeah, I agree because if they really wanted Eze, they could have got Eze when the link started at the end of June and start of July. I mean, here we are going into August and they still want Eze, but there's always an excuse. Their new excuse is now they have to sell before they can buy, or they want to negotiate with Palace. I mean, they're not in a position to negotiate with us.
When's the last time Arsenal that really went big on a signing?
Gyökeres is like the biggest,
that's probably the biggest one in a while, and that, like, once again, that took them a very long time. And how much was Gyökeres? Like 60 something? Was he 60 something?
Yeah, but
did you see them doing that twice? Can you see them doing that twice in one window?
No, and that's where the problem lies. And I think they don't want to, and now they're just trying to play the long game. Play the long game with Palace. You'll find out.
That's the thing. We're not going to give you any concessions. I think our track record across multiple windows has shown you that we're not going to cut anybody any deals or any slack on taking our. We're not those guys.
Like Brighton or the Bournemouths. Like these clubs, they're happy to sell their players. We're not a traditional selling club. I don't know why this narrative has been put on Palace. I mean, how many up until last year? I know last year we sold Elise and Anderson, but before then we only sold Yann Bisseck. Wilf didn't get sold. He just left.
Wolf never got sold. He left. Yann Bisseck was the all-time cash cow still for us.
We got promoted to the Prem. We're not known to be a selling club. We're not eager to sell players. I mean,
if anything, we're pretty frugal and fiscal when it comes to those things.
Yeah. So I don't think Palace will be negotiating anything with Arsenal regarding Eze. You either pay up or you leave, and we'll see what happens with European football. If he won the appeal, that'd be fantastic for them to play in Europa League. I think they'll be even more prepared to stay. I know yesterday you lot spoke about it as well. Mateta, he's been rumored, and a few other players, but it's a compliment. I see it as a compliment. There's two ways of looking at it. These players have played very good. So it's only right that they're linked to top clubs. And I've always had this narrative. If these players are so good enough to play for top 6 clubs, they should be able to perform at Palace. I mean, they're all together in one squad right now. Wharton, Eze, Mateta. And what happened? We won the FA Cup. We beat Man City. So next season we go again. You know,
exactly. And we start to be able to offer things to players that we never could before, which makes us even more attractive. You know, European football was never a part of our negotiation process with players. Now it is. 100%. So now it opens up a whole new doorway to different calibers of players and different abilities of players, and just the ability to keep the guys that you have, because a big point of becoming what I'll refer back to Mateta's joining interview when he was like, we're a stepping stone. We're not as much of a stepping stone anymore because we're offering you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Great pay and wages, top league, and European football.
Before we move on to the next bit of news, as always, make sure to get involved in the comment section down below if you are watching on replay. And also, I want to say shout out to everyone, Amin, and everyone that's in the chat as well. We've hit 64 likes already, so thank you to each and every single one of you that's done that. Support is much appreciated. It really does help us out a lot. So if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. And I guess let's find out. Let's find out tomorrow. Surely someone's going to come forward tomorrow to confirm or deny this report that's coming from Simon Mockbell. So, yeah, tomorrow is going to be another interesting day. And tomorrow we are playing, of course. So, before I forget, we'll be doing the watch-along double header for both of the games on the channel. So, feel free, if you're watching the game in the afternoon, to pop into the chat and also watch the game with us. It should be exciting. And if there's any news that's popping up during the games, which I don't know if there will be, but we'll be here to cover it. Let's move on to the next report. What was that?
Hopefully nothing too serious.
Yeah, hopefully. Exactly. I think there might be another Eze update. Surely there'll be another Eze update. I'm thinking so, like by tomorrow, just to confirm. Because if it does expire tomorrow, then I expect another Palace journalist to come out, like Bobby did last year, say Eze's release clause has expired. It's confirmed, done. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Of course, there was an update. I don't think we mentioned it on the channel yesterday, but Yann Bisseck, we were reportedly after him for around 30 million euros. However, he has said no, according to Fabrizio Romano. He has no interest in a move to Crystal Palace. The defender wants to stay at Inter Milan. It is what it is. Charge it to the game. I mean, you are going to get rejected here and there. But what's your thoughts on it, T? Because we do need another centre-back, as Rob Holding, he's officially left the football club. I mean, but we've had to replace him since the moment that he joined the football club.
The future of our centre-backing core has left the building.
Yeah, it's officially confirmed. I think he's gone over
for free to the MLS.
Yeah.
The thing is, man, I can't be mad at a centre-back from the club that won the Champions League, won it, turning us down. Like, I can't be mad at. Like, why wouldn't you want to stay at? Why wouldn't you want to stay at Inter? Like,
exactly. They're competing pretty much every year as well.
Yeah, like you're playing in Serie A. You've got a chance to win Scudettos. All of that, along with, of course, assured Champions League football once again next year. He's playing. He's starting. Like, he's playing a ton with him. Like, yeah, okay. I understand why he would want to turn us down and stay at Inter Milan. So I can't be mad at that at all. Do I think there are other still really good center backs out there that we could be targeting that are probably a good amount less than he would cost? Absolutely. So just one of those things. You know, it is what it is. Like you said, charge to the game and we move on.
Yeah, Rob Holding, it has been officially confirmed. He's left to join MLS club Colorado Rapids, I believe.
Colorado Rapids. Yes.
Yep. So he's the under 21 player at this point, not even first team. He's left. They're terrible, by the way. Hey, T, you're going to have the privilege of watching Rob Holding week in, week out if you watch MLS.
Man, we beat Colorado like 5-0 last
time. 5-0.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
Okay. Well, I mean, the one thing I did laugh about with Rob Holding when he got announced that he's left is I totally forgot that we actually had an announcement video for him, and we've actually put effort into the announcement video.
Yes, we put significant effort into it. Like,
when I was watching it, I was thinking, what? I mean, did we actually do this for Rob Holding? He was out on the streets of London for his announcement video.
And we did all that for a guy that we paid like $3 million for.
Yeah. Oh, you are right. It's 24 player.
We treated him like he was a marquee signing.
Yeah. Well, at the time, it felt like it. And also, I remember my best highlight of Rob Holding is, of course, the one game that he did play for us, which was, funny enough, I think that was Richard's debut as well. Maybe it wasn't. You know, the game against Man United away from home, the League Cup game. I don't know if that was Chris Richards' first game as well, but that was
it? I don't know.
Played for us. Yeah. I want to actually let's actually watch this because he's a legend of the club that's left. So it's only right. And I genuinely can't believe that we have actually done all of this for Rob Holding.
Wasn't it like the paper boy or something like that? He was like selling papers or something. Or
yeah. Look,
I remember this. Yeah.
I forgot about this.
Defender.
Look,
like
for players that only cost £3 million.
Let's keep it honest. After this MLS move, he's one step away from doing that professionally, selling papers.
Where is it? He's one step closer.
You're one step closer to having your own newspaper stand, sir. You better get it together.
You know what's crazy? The fact that people didn't really notice him as well. It was just like, it was funny. He's out on the streets of London and no one really noticed him. But look, the announcement video, it was class. But yeah, he's officially gone. He's officially gone. And for good reasons. I don't expect us to get any major fee. If we got £1 million, I'd be amazed. But most importantly, I think the biggest factor is that wages are off the books.
Getting those wages off, because he was probably 50 to 60, I bet.
Yeah, it must have been. No way it's going to be less than that. So that's a positive thing. Wages off the book. He's actually out of the football club rather than training with the youth players. And the additional centre-back that we've needed, well, we need it even more now, technically. Rob Holding, the centre-back that we're trying to replace, has officially left the club, even though I don't think it makes a difference, even if he was at a football club. But yeah, it's officially confirmed. But yeah, when it comes to centre-backs, I'll be honest, I'm not as worried. I just think the club needs to move a bit more probably serious, which I don't know. I don't know when we'll make moves.
I remember saying it a few weeks back, and I still stand on this thought process. I think the best thing for us right now is to get Mark Gahey's replacement through the door while Gahey's still on the team. I genuinely believe that because of the fact that, yes, he's going into his contract year, but if you get his replacement on the team right now, come January, rather than letting him walk for free, yes, we do a cut rate deal, we still get some money back. But if he goes, you have his replacement in-house that's and been with the squad for 6 months.
That means you have to spend good money though, right? If you're talking about Gay replacement, we're talking about potentially maybe 25 to 30 million or 20 million.
And I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with us doing that, completely honest, because I mean, what have we spent to this point? We haven't really spent much. So I would imagine that we have the money to be able to put out for a guy that's 20 million, like for just throwing out a name like a Coney DeWinter. You go and get a guy like that for around 20 million, let him bet himself in. Diamande possibly too. It's just that he's really expensive. Like they're saying Diamande is going to cost like 50.
But is it not worth it if we're talking about Gay replacement? I mean, we know how much Gay is valued, but
I mean, no, is he worth that? I do believe so, but how much does that $50 million purchase then affect everything else you're trying to do with the rest of the window?
Well, look, we don't need that many positions, so I think
we don't, which is a great thing. I think we're in a really good position overall.
Like we need, I
do believe that
at least 3 signings, and we should be fine. And these are depth signings. I think a centre back, right wing back, and another number 10 potentially.
Some people say central midfield for one reason or another, but I think out of all of those positions you just named, central midfield is probably fourth of the behind those 3. I would say.
The centre back position I think should be number 1. It is very scary. We got very lucky last year, by the way, when Chalobah left, because one injury to Richards, Gay, or Lacroix. Lerma can play there, yes, but it's not centre back. Like we are very thin on numbers with centre backs due to Riyadh being out injured as well. So centre backs, we need to get that sorted because we can't play the same game. Thankfully, it worked out in our favour, but right now going into the new season, we're playing a risky game. We got no other centre backs.
I mean, if you think about it, like Glasner has played that game with the center backs for the last 2 years because he did the same thing when the year before when Chris Richards was out. Chris Richards was hurt. This is before Lacroix was even there, and we finished the season. We finished that season on that win streak with Nathaniel Klein at right center back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so he's done that for 2 years. For 2 years running, man. It's like, I would rather have us really solidify that position. You know, and it's not like, let's be honest, it's not like we haven't tried to. I mean, Chadi Riaz's injuries, notwithstanding, you know, we couldn't do anything about that. Along with the fact that, you know, we lost Chalaba when we did to his parent club pulling him back. So it's not like we haven't tried to address the position, because we definitely have. But I think we just want to see us make that final move to really shore it up and solidify things.
I don't mean this with no disrespect, but if Klein finds any real minutes next season on the pitch and we're failed somewhere, Klein should be
you don't want that to be the situation.
Right wing back, centre back, he should not be on the pitch. I'm sorry, because I mean,
he's not a Premier League level player anymore.
He's
like
not.
caliber.
He's
like
not.
Major minute caliber player, and that's not a knock. That's not a knock to him. That, like, I'm not saying I don't love Nathaniel Klein. I don't appreciate what he's done for us, but dog, he's 34 years old. He's playing out of position.
But the thing is, right now there is that possibility though, and that's the reason why we need to sign another centre back. There is that possibility. If one or two players get injured, there is that possibility that he might need to fit in, and there shouldn't be that possibility. He should be there. As a squad player. I think, of course, he's got massive experience. Joe Ward has left a football club, so you know he steps into that kind of role now. He shouldn't, but this is the thing. He shouldn't be playing, but he could be if luck goes against us. One injury to Gehi and another injury to Richards. That's two centre backs. We need at least one more centre back through the door, because we can't afford any injuries right now. And I understand Lerma can play centre back, but he's not a centre back. I'd rather have the midfield bulked up by having Lerma as an option in midfield rather than centre back and central midfield. I think midfield, we've got enough players there. I don't want us to sign another midfielder in this window. I don't think we should. I'd rather the money get spent elsewhere and we buy a proper quality depth options, and maybe next summer or something or January we can look at midfielders. But for me, it's simple: centre back, number one, right wing back, and another number 10 to offer something a bit different from SA and France, because I expect Jess to be leaving a football club. We've only spent £3 million. We're looking at 3 more signings. There should be some outgoings as well. Let's not move cheap. This is the wrong time to move cheap, especially whilst having Oliver Glasner at the football club. If there's a time to take the risk, if there's a time to invest to take us forward, as we've seen with this manager, it can happen under him. But you have to make sure he has the right tools. So let's go get the business sorted, and we should have a good season. And I don't want us to go spend £3 or £4 million on a centre. Well, we won't do anyways, but on a right wing back, or don't go cheap. Don't go cheap, because cheap has cost us in the past. We've gone cheap in terms of not even bringing in players, but sometimes getting players on new deals. I mean, for years, Jeffrey Schlupp and this player, that player. Like, it took us ages to get rid of some of these players. And now let's try to reinvest back into the squad. We're playing European football. That's going to be massive. We'll see what happens, of course. If we're in a conference league, we have to go past the playoff round, which hopefully we do. But if we do go past the conference league, we've got Thursday game, Sunday game, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. There's a lot of games. Right now we're playing a risky game by only having 3 actual centre backs at the football club that are ready to play, because we play 3 at the back. There's no one else. We can't play those games, because I think Glasner, right before we went live, he actually spoke to Palace TV. And he mentioned,
I literally watched that right before we came on too.
And he spoke about the Community Shield. He said, we'll go for winning the next trophy. If you have the chance to win 2 trophies within 3 months, let's go for it. Like, this manager's hungry, but we need to also feed into his hunger. We need to make sure he's set up right. And I don't know, like as we mentioned, the Community Shield is literally next weekend, and then the Premier League starts a week after. So the signings will have to happen sooner rather than later. Then again, the decision for European football doesn't happen till like 6 days before the season starts, not even a week.
Literally, yeah, August what, 11th?
Yeah, he's dragged out. I'm surprised. Yeah. He's dragged out to August 11th. So
yeah, that really, gosh, that really puts that really puts us in a tough bind, you know, with everything. Once again, because it kind of does put that halt on the type of work you can do as far as bringing guys in between now and then. Because, you know, hypothetically speaking, you bring a guy in tomorrow, August 1, between now and when that verdict will come out, that guy has 10 days in the program.
Do you reckon we sign a player before August 11th, another player?
No, I don't think so. No.
That's, yeah, I mean, August 11th is going to be a wild day because that is the day after the Community Shield. And that's the day things get confirmed. Those 2 days, the 10th and the 11th, is going to be crazy. It's literally going to be crazy with the amount that's going on. But if we don't, then we're basically going into the new season, if that actually does happen and we don't sign a player, with only £3 million spent and a backup goalie and a left wing back. Left wing back, I like the look of Sosa. I think that's good. It's not all about.
That's a good move. I think that's a good move. I like Benitez too. I think those are
yeah. When Lerma came in
moves for that,
I thought that was good business. For example, from after he left Bournemouth, he came to us on a free, and I think Sosa could be good business as well. We can't just look at the price tag. I think we can look at the actual.
And I mean, and to say, you know, the thought of, you know, we can't go cheap. I understand. I completely understand that that viewpoint, but we have had a lot of success in going cheap in the past with some of the things you just mentioned, some of the players you just mentioned, like possibly a Sosa, Kamada would be considered a cheap move in the grand scheme of things. So we have had, I mean, Munoz only cost us 8. So I think there's a way of doing it too. You know, just don't bring in anybody because they're cheap. But, you know, having an understanding of the caliber of player, the profile of player also matters just as much as the price tag.
Yeah. Animal saying with Mateta at 27-28, contract expiring in 2027, do you see him signing a new deal or not? I mean, it's been dragging out. It's been dragging out. It's been taking forever. But what's your stance on it? Do you think he signs a new deal?
He's in a weird spot. He's in a very weird, undesirable contractual spot. Because right now, with the way his contract is set with us, he's under contract with us until he's 30 years old. That's what we have set in stone. So for us as a club, what's the incentive of us giving him a new, longer contract for him to be with us past 30 years old and for us to be paying him more money? And for him, it's like, what do I do? Or what is my leverage here? Because we have no reason to sit down at the table and renegotiate with him other than just pure goodwill.
Yeah.
Because from a business aspect, there's no reason why we should do it.
What about actual player and looking at the striker market? He's one of the best out there. I mean, I don't know how we can get. I'm not talking about the whole of Europe, by the way, but I don't know how many better strikers that we can get than Mateta. So,
and I truly agree with you, but at the same time, we have them, and we have them for 3 more years. It's like, do we have this conversation right now?
No, I don't think we have him for 3 more years, do we?
We're in 25. We got him until 27. That's what I mean. 3 calendar years, should I say? So
okay. If it's expired sooner than that, yeah, 2027, yeah.
So it's like, if anything, I don't think we need to have the conversation right now, because the thing is, like, yeah, we could pay him more money, and I think that's the best thing. Like, I think the best thing that can come from this is him just getting a bumper deal where he gets paid a little bit more wages, or maybe some incentives gets added into his contract, and maybe an additional year. But it's like, do you want to have that guy on your team that's 31 years old making 100,000+ a week? And then we're in a situation where you can't move him because nobody's going to pay for a guy in that situation. It's just I feel like it's an awkward spot for all involved a little bit right now.
Yeah, and also his age, I don't think really helps him as well.
That's what I'm saying. That's it puts all parties in a really weird spot because he was a late bloomer. He's playing at a really high level, but he's about to hit that twilight peak where everybody knows in professional sports, when you hit 30, you become a freaking vampire. And your value just tanks because you're no longer on the bright side of 30 years
He's
old.
basically 30 years old when his contract expires. So
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's born on 28th of June, so he will be 29, I guess, when his contract expires.
When his contract expires,
yeah,
he'll be 29.
Oh, actually 30. No, he'll be 30. He'll
be 30 based on his birthday.
Yeah,
he'll be 30. So it's like, how do you handle that? Like as a team, knowing that you probably don't want to have one of your highest paid players in their 30s, if you can prevent it. You know,
I mean, we're not in a bad position as well. I think it's Mateta that is in an awkward position because of his age.
He's in a weird weird contractual. Like, I feel like the contract negotiation that he got the bump on, where, you know, when he was playing a little bit, when he's coming off of playing pretty bad and then picked up his play and we gave him the extension. I think he should have negotiated it for maybe one or two less years, so that it made more sense for us to be at the table now saying, okay, cool, we'll give you an extension and it'll be until you're 29 and then you can go, or that, and then we can look to move you. The math of the contracts is just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'm not as worried about Mateta right now. I think we need the director of football. I think that should be the next step. And like that, things can clear up a bit more. Because right now, we don't even know who's running the business. Like, who's doing what?
Right.
Since Doug has left the football club. So, yeah, let's get through this European decision date, which is August 11th. Sort out players, director of football, and have a bit of stability. Because even goalkeeper coach, we lost in Kylie. Like, it's just a bit all over the place right now. There's so many things that we need to do. I've heard that as well, that we're looking at the Wolves, former Wolves director.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit
yesterday. So I mean, let's see. There'll be others as well. I remember when Dougie first left, there's been a few names mentioned. So it depends on what direction club want to go in. It's a bit hard with director of football, I guess. There's more details than we know in terms of what makes
it. I'm honestly surprised we haven't hired somebody, or at least named somebody into the position in the interim. Like, it's just weird. You haven't, like, I don't know if it's something that maybe they've just done internally and they haven't just publicized it.
I think we would have announced it. I think we would have announced it if we actually got a new director of football. I don't think we've actually got one. I think we would have announced. Surely one of the Jonas would have known. Like,
right.
Even if we didn't announce it, I don't think it's been confirmed yet. So yeah, Jules is the head, goalkeeping coach right now. So I mean, it's good for us, but I don't know what's going to happen there. Like, are we going to keep Jules there? Apparently, he's there on a temporary basis, and yeah, if we're not, then we need to sort that out as well. Anything else before we wrap up, T?
No, did we have any questions in there? I feel like we didn't get a whole lot of questions.
Yeah. Now I'll look for some questions. But yeah, just quick recap if you're just joining now as well. Eze's release clause is apparently, according to Samuel Muckwell, is due to expire tomorrow. However, we're not too sure how true that is, even though he is meant to be a reputable journalist, because last year it expired around the 13th or 14th of August, which was approximately around 2 weeks before the transfer window ended, and we thought that was the case now as well. So I don't know why that date would change. And also, we've been rejected by Yann Bisseck from Inter Milan, the defender, and Rob Holding has left the football club, if you care about that. Who do you think will get more starts this season, Mitchell or Sosa? Sosa's looked good with his crosses, but Mitchell, I think, is, of course, the better defender. Do you think it will be a combination? Do you think Glasner will be rotating depending on opposition, or?
I definitely think Mitchell's going to get more starts. If the question is who's going to get more starts, the answer for me is Mitchell for sure. Do I think that Sosa will get his opportunities? Yes, I do.
But don't you think Sosa suits this system more than Mitchell does? When we're talking about wing back with his ability to cross the ball into the box. I mean, we've seen it in a few games already. These deliveries are good.
Offensively, he definitely does. I think the big thing here is what you lose in defensive coverage with Sosa. You know what I mean? Very, very, very similar to the dichotomy that we saw between Mitchell and Chilwell. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ben Chilwell looks really good going forward, but that's only one part of his game. And I think right now the thing with Tariq is he's a fantastic defender that is showing marked growth in his attacking play. And I think that is more I think that's something I would be more comfortable with going with more often than the guy who I know can attack but can't defend.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I think Sosa will get opportunities, and eventually I wouldn't be surprised at some point of the season if he becomes a regular starter. I won't be surprised.
I mean, I think he'll have it. I mean, the thing is, you know,
it's a different situation to Chilwell. Chilwell came to Palace lacking fitness. He's suffered injuries. He doesn't look the same. I think Sosa, even in the 2 games that he's played, to me, he's looked exciting. He's looked exciting going forward, and you can understand why we've needed a player like that, because he actually fits into the profile of a wing back, of someone who can actually attack and offer a bit more going forward. I think T has definitely improved Tyreek going forward. However, I think Sosa is still the better attacker. So it's going to depend on, I think,
it could be a matchup based thing. It could be matchup based.
Yeah. I think in the Conference League, if teams are just sitting back, for example, if we're facing, I don't know who, there's some interesting teams out there. If they're going to just sit back, I think maybe Sosa would suit a game like that a bit more than Mitchell, because, you know, you're going to have to be a mid block or a low block, and Sosa offers more going forward. And, you know, we still got 3 centre backs there. A wing back, of course, is nice for them to be good defensively, but look at Munoz. We've loved Munoz because of what he does going forward, rather than his defensive efforts. His defensively, I don't think he's bad, but he's not as good as he's going forward. And I think you can actually have that, you know, difference between attack versus defense when it comes to wing back. You can actually maybe lean more for an attacking wing back rather than defensive one, because you've got the 3 centre backs right behind you, so you can kind of take that risk. So let's see. I think,
and we stand to offer a season where you stand to play 50+ matches, so there's a lot of starts to go around. And
Mitchell's played a lot of games,
and we've asked him to play a lot just within, you know, the slide of games that we have with Premier League and the Cups, but now adding in the European matches, that's even more, man. That's a lot to ask.
Yeah. Let's see what actually happens. Let me just quickly see. Apparently, Ben Jacobs just reported this as well. Arsenal not worried about Eze's release clause expiring after holding talks with Crystal Palace. Arsenal's plan has always been to bid below the clause valuation should they proceed with a deal. That's good news to me. They're not worried about but they're saying that they're going to bid below the valuation. So they're not.
It sounds like they're not going to. They're not going to. Then Eze's not going anywhere. So why even waste your time?
They're not getting
Arsenal's doing the same thing with Ebbs that Newcastle did with Gahey last year. They're wasting their own time. And you know, it's not going to hurt us. So
yeah, exactly. Newcastle literally just ask Newcastle what happened with Gahey last year. So that's actually positive news. if they're with, awesome. That's funny. But anyways, let's wrap up now. Of course, tomorrow we got the double header watch along, which should be exciting. And if there is any other news updates, we'll be here. But before you do leave, if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if there's anything else, we'll be here. But I doubt it tonight unless it's something big. But tomorrow, 100% will be live. So keep safe, people, and until next time, up the Palace.
Of the Palace.